You know, a really valuable lesson I've learned? It's that our nervous system is usually the thing that holds us back from progressing in life or expanding in some way. There's a really great quote, and it is, "Your nervous system prefers a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven." And it kind of speaks to the fact that what is known, what is comfortable to your nervous system, it will gladly move you in that direction. Whereas if something is uncomfortable, even though it might be the best thing for you, it will hold you back from that. You will create self-sabotage through your mindset, what your thoughts are, your self-talk, how you view that situation. It changes the way you see things. And it'll flip that lens for you to look at it through a lens that is, this is dangerous for me. You go into survival mode. It pulls you into a number of different directions mentally where you are now trying to, say force things or overthink things, trying to be a perfectionist. These are all ways that our nervous system tries to keep us exactly where we are. And it does a very good job of that. It does a very good job. Our habitual way of being does a very good job of keeping us where we are. But if you want to grow, if you want to expand, if you want to take your life in a different direction, you want to get different things out of life, you have to learn to see the patterns of self-sabotage through nervous system dysregulation, through what our nervous system is comfortable with, and allow yourself to move into it anyways. Because I've said it in many other videos, through self-awareness, you can actually make a change. If we're not aware, we just unconsciously live from the same patterns and wonder why nothing's changing. And this is a perfect example. A lot of times we have an idea of where we want to get to in life or what we want to achieve or who we want to become. And when we start to actually have to move in that direction, when an opportunity comes our way and we have to say yes to it or whatever it is, and then something always tends to come up. You can't do it or whatever it is, but you don't end up moving forward in that direction. It's a lot easier to think about things. That is just your nervous system keeping you exactly where you are. And so when we can become aware of these patterns, you can see them just as patterns, not you, but the fear, the doubt, the dysregulation that is trying to keep you in that familiar hell, if you will. Not to say that life is hell, but just to go back to that quote. So breaking free of this often comes back to awareness, as I said, breathing. Can you notice what this is doing to your mindset, to the way that you feel? Maybe you're feeling, somatic symptoms like your heart rate's racing or, different things that are going on with your body when it comes to moving into this uncomfortable thing that is really what your heart is calling out for you to go and do, or the direction that you want to go. It's not easy. It's very difficult because you're actually going up against yourself. The entire momentum of who you've been mentally, physically, emotionally, with your nervous system, you're going up against that to break the mold, to change the direction of your life. And it's very difficult in the moment. But this is the most important and impactful work that you can do for yourself. Because if you've ever noticed that when you take a step back from that uncomfortable thing, moving in that direction where you actually have to practice it now, you begin to feel more relaxed. It's a lot, like I said, it's a lot easier to think about it from a distance or read a book about it or watch a video about it and get inspired or get motivated. You're like, yeah, this is going to be great, But then all of a sudden when you actually have to do it, you're like, that's when your mind is going to start playing tricks with you. It's almost like if you've seen Harry Potter, I think it's like the fifth one, the Goblet of Fire, I think. It's one where he's entered into that competition. And near the end of the movie, the final, I guess, competition they have to do is go into this maze and make it out of the other side. And one thing Dumbledore says to Harry is something along the lines of, don't trust what your mind is seeing. It's basically going into this maze, you feel like you're going to go crazy. And he told him that ahead of time. And sure enough, he goes into this maze and that's exactly what happens. This is the exact same thing. When you start to follow your heart's callings, when you start to go out and try to expand yourself, take your life in a different direction, do what's uncomfortable, your mind is going to play tricks on you. Your mind is going to do everything it can to convince you that it's unsafe, that you're not good enough, that you shouldn't do it for whatever reason, or that you can't do it. It's going to look for reasons outside of you to show you that, oh, you can't do it for this reason. And that's your nervous system trying to keep you safe. But if we continue to listen to that, we are just going to stay exactly as we are. And we're just going to go into this repeated loop of reading a book, gaining the idea. That calling within your heart is not going to go away. It'll always be there. But what happens is we start to approach actually doing that, taking the leap, and then it's like, oh, I can't do this. So then we kind of retreat back into ourselves. We convince ourselves that we can't do it, or it's not worth it, or whatever reason why we can't, like an excuse or whatever. And then we go back, we're able to relax a little bit because we feel safe again within our nervous system with what's comfortable in our lives. And then keeps on going that way. And then eventually we get that calling again. So we read another book about it, or we watch another video about it. And then we want to go do the thing. So then we're about to do it again, but then we back off. And that's just this perpetual cycle that many of us live from for years, if not our entire lives. And nothing ever changes. But this is why the cycle's happening. It's that feeling unsafe because of the dysregulation within, because of who we've been up until this point, because of what we've learned, our beliefs about ourselves and our conditioning. These things all dictate how our nervous system is going to respond to certain things. And if it says, oh, no, this is really unsafe, I can't do this, it's going to create all of these mindsets, all of these perceptions, all of these different somatic experiences that it's going to be like, I can't do this. It's not real, so to speak. This is your past self keeping you where you are. It's possible to break free of this. Again, awareness is the first step. And when you become aware of this, you can clearly see the patterns happening right in front of your face. And you can begin to separate yourself from those patterns. You can see, oh, this is just, self-sabotage happening. Whether I realized it or not before, that's exactly what it is. And it almost gets to the point, if you're clever, if your subconscious is clever enough, it'll actually convince you that you don't want to do it anymore. That no, I don't want to follow my heart. This isn't worth it. Whatever reason it is, it'll actually convince you that you don't want to do it. But if you were to go back to that initial instinct that you had before all of these patterns took over yourself, you felt inspired. You felt like you really wanted to do it. It was the first thing. It was like, of course I'm going to do that. But then your mind starts thinking about it, and your nervous system gets in the way. And then you look for things that why you shouldn't do it. And whatever you look for, you find. So separate yourself from the pattern through coming back to yourself, through breathing, through, in the heat of the moment, reparenting yourself to the point where you're like, I'm safe. Everything's good right now. I'm okay. This is self-regulation. you can write about it, you can journal about it, but take the step forward anyways. Do what you need to do to calm yourself to whatever extent you can, to regulate yourself through breath work. That's my favorite way. Being with yourself, observing, just self-observation, because in the space of awareness, everything kind of dissolves. The more awareness you bring to something, the less power it has over you. So in coming to this place within yourself of consciousness, you can begin to calm, and you can begin to those thoughts and those beliefs and the feelings within yourself don't have as much control over you. You can then look at things with a broader perspective. You can come in with a new mindset. You can reparent yourself. You can talk to yourself the way you would talk to a little kid who's scared of doing something, that has an irrational fear, you know? You can be that for yourself. And when you can, that's when your life starts to open up and change. That's when you're able to take the step and move in the direction you want and follow your heart. That's when life becomes expansive. You're no longer living from that cycle I was talking about, where you get so excited about it, you start to move in that direction, and then you get scared and retreat back. And it's just this oscillating pattern going back and forth for the rest of your life. Wondering, then you'll get to the end of your life wondering, what if I actually did it, you know? If you've gotten this far, just take the step. Observe yourself and do it. Because if you're anything like me, you went years allowing this pattern to hold you back. And never realizing that it was really yourself, this nervous system pattern, the past version of you that was keeping you where you were. I've said it in other videos, if you want to change your life, if you want to change the direction of your life or who you are, you have to ignore your mind. Just like Dumbledore said to Harry Potter before he went into that maze, you're going to feel like you're going crazy. You're going to feel like you're seeing things, and don't believe it. Come back into awareness within yourself. That's what I'm saying. Come back to awareness and watch all of the stories come up. They're just stories. That's it. If you continue to live by them, nothing will change. But you will feel that regret. Believe me, I know what it's like. So to move forward with it, in spite of the fear is showing you exactly where to move. Fear is showing you the way to that highest expression of yourself. So if you feel the fear, know that it's that darkness, that dark path that you actually want to move into. Don't follow the light in this sense of the light being what's comfortable. And we hear it all the time. Oh, the magic happens outside your comfort zone. Yeah, it's true. It is true. And this is just a deeper dive into why the discomfort actually happens. It's a nervous system thing. It's a fear thing. It's a belief thing, subconsciously. You don't have to let it run your life anymore. It doesn't have to. You don't have to be a victim to this anymore. Or let this use you in your life. This is running our lives for the most part. It creates that autopilot living. But you can bring mastery into your life through consciousness and awareness and create the life that you want. Create a fulfilling, purposeful, impactful life. And it all starts with being able to regulate yourself. Being able to be aware of how we sabotage, how our past self, how the nervous system is keeping us stuck, keeping us where we are. Remember, the more uncomfortable you are, it's just showing you that you're getting closer and closer to maybe the life that you want to live, the version of yourself that you want to be. Let that be the guide, not the false beliefs and perceptions that we have about why we should or shouldn't do something. That's just the past self. If you're uncomfortable, if you're scared, if you're nervous, Sometimes these are good indicators that you're actually on the right path if you want to expand. And there's nuance to this, obviously, yeah, this is just a video where I'm speaking to everyone. So your circumstance could be unique. But generally speaking, in my life and within the context of this video, following that fear can be a really good thing. It's the thing that will set you free. So try not to let your self-sabotage, the past self, keep you where you are, keep you from living the life that might actually be meant for you and you becoming who you can be. On the other side of what you're avoiding is the life that you want to live. On the other side of this fear, of this doubt, is the person you want to be. So just remember, your nervous system will prefer a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. But the more that you walk this path and expand the bounds of your comfort zone, of your mind, of the capacity for what your nervous system can handle, you will be able to live that once unfamiliar heaven, but it will be a familiar heaven. And so the cycle continues. So life goes on. You will continue to expand, elevate. So I hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next video.